Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Wednesday's KVJ After the Show podcast
Yeah, Kevin.
is here. Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. Touching on a couple things from earlier on the show. We were talking about the EVPs, and we'd played that electric voice phenomenon that we believe might have been Jason's mom's voice saying Jaybird.
We heard the word Jaybird. Mm-hmm. That was clear.
So I got text messages from some of my family members that heard that segment.
Yeah.
And they honestly believe that was my mom.
Do
They
they?
did. They said that sounded like mom whispering.
Wow.
Had the right inflection, yeah.
It
The way it
did.
took off, yeah.
I even heard Denny's just telling me people called in and said they could hear my mom's accent.
Yeah.
Again, for the naysayers, I get that I could be holding on to just mere hope. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you don't have hope, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, it's your hope. No one can take your hope.
Yeah, I think people want to believe their loved ones are around them, checking on them.
Sure.
Yes.
Gives you comfort, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. We got a text earlier from Tina, KVJ Nationer. She was talking about how she went to St. Augustine and heard in an EVP her father. And they had done an investigation at the old jail at midnight. But when we went in, we had a little spat right before going into the old jail because I was scared. I was nervous. And then when my father came through on the EVP, it broke up the spat that we had. It is something that we'll probably always remember. And I hope that Vicky gets the answers for Jaybird. And she said, as a side note, there is a park near the old jail there in St. Augustine, and there's a carousel in the park. And when we came out, it was about 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, that all of a sudden the carousel fired up and started playing music in the middle of the park, which is locked up and nobody's around. So
Yeah, there's great.
maybe they have a switch they hit. Wing.
I mean, it'd be a great trick.
Yeah, it'd be a great trick. Yeah, get you
Watch
talking.
this.
I get comfort that my mom's trying to get a message, but I also kind of get a little nervous. Why is my mom trying to get a hold of me? Why is she going? If this is what's going on, what type of message is she trying to get to Vicky?
Well, Vicky said that she felt like your mom wanted her to watch out for you.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you up to that your mom is watching you and she's worried?
That seance he was going to do.
No, I think it's the KVJ show.
You've been doing that for a long time.
I feel like this is the most together you have it.
This is my sanctuary. This is where I feel somehow.
Maybe it's possible that she was just aware that now you started doing the Weird and Whatever podcast, that, you know, there's this doorway, whereas before there wasn't any tool of communication.
Yeah, too, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff with my health right now. I'm getting all these tests done, so maybe my mom's like, don't cancel your appointments. Maybe that's what, I don't know.
Have you ever heard of something called thermal scanning? Somebody was telling me about this yesterday, and I have never heard about this, but they fought cancer and they battled through it, and now they're cancer-free. And so every year they go for something called thermal scanning.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's relatively inexpensive, like $150. Insurance won't cover it,
Okay.
but you go and you stand there, and you just stand there like this, like you would at the airport. You know how they make you stand in that thing?
Yeah.
It's just like that. You stand there, and this thing scans your whole body. And I guess it can see, like, if you have any precancerous cells or anything weird
Whoa,
anywhere on your
really?
body. Even before, like, a mammogram or an ultrasound can pick it up, this thing will show, like, little white spots.
Where you do this?
My girlfriend, who's been through cancer, so she can't have, all the traditional mammograms and stuff because she can't have that kind of radiation to her body. She goes and has it done, and she says it's like $150. I'm like, that seems really cheap and really cool, and I totally want to try it.
It sounds cool and mystical almost. I mean, it's legit?
Well, they sit down with you and they show you this. I don't know if it's legit. That's the thing.
Got ya.
They show you the whole scan of your body. And I know you're worried. Jaybird's always worried about things inside his body, like not doing what they're supposed to. But this shows you, like, what's growing inside of you by this thermal scan.
Wow. That's cool.
You should come with me. I'm going to go do it.
You should do it.
I am. I'm so excited to do it because I love this kind of stuff.
Somebody sent a tweet out earlier here on our Twitter at KVJ Show. It says, I'm not sure if you'll read an entire book, but you should check this one out. Messages from the Masters by Brian Weiss.
Oh, I know Brian. Yeah, I mean, I don't know Brian, but I've definitely know his work.
Yeah, the excerpt that they sent to us, there are some people that can show themselves to the people still in physical form. Others have the power of movement and are allowed to move objects telepathically. Many people choose to come here because they are allowed to see those who are still in physical form and very close to them. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I was talking earlier and I was asking Vicky, I'm like, who's written all these rules and how do you know what they are? It's not like you go someplace and they're written on a wall, but, you know, I guess you just said through time and experience, you start to a little bit understand the dynamics of how the spirit world works. So.
It's all very fascinating.
So there you go. Yeah, some interesting stuff. If people want to check out the Weird and Whatever podcast, where do they find it and when do you do it?
It is on YouTube. It is on. We usually upload it on our Facebook. It's on Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't listen to it in real time, but yeah, it's kind of like our after the show podcast where it's on all of our stuff.
Another email that we got from Bill said, hey, a great way, creative and legal, to get revenge on a neighbor.
Oh, yes. Tell us.
Talking about a friend of yours, Jaybird, who's having problems with the neighbor who are having late-night raves, causing all kinds of problems, throwing garbage on their lawn. They've actually called the police, and nothing yet has changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed. And he's the kind of guy that doesn't like to he felt bad about even calling the police the first time. He doesn't want to deal with it.
Bill said, here's my idea, written in newspaper headline form. Man attempts to set world record for most wind chimes. Do a wind chime drive at your station, set up a live cam, and send Jaybird out to interview the neighbors.
I will talk to my friend, see if he's cool with
See
that.
if he wants to have an attempt for the world's largest amount of wind chimes at one time.
That is awesome.
It's pretty funny.
And then we'll start a drive, and then he can have it at his place.
That's so funny.
I hung one wind chime at my place because my dad gave it to me and it had like a Bible verse on it. So I kind of felt obligated, like I was going against the Bible if I didn't hang it up. So I hung it up about 48 hours and I was like, I'm done with this wind chime.
I fucking hate wind chimes.
They're so annoying.
With a passion do I hate them. They're not they're actually very eerie.
They're
and very
eerie.
murderous. I hear wind chimes, I think a guy's outside my window with a hatchet.
He probably is.
They've used them a lot in horror movies.
Yes.
It's almost like one of the things that they do because the wind is blowing and.
It's the sound you hear before you die.
It's too eerie for me, man.
Yeah.
And annoying on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. On the Think Fast game, Steven sent an email and said, how about Jason's answers only count if they are spoken and not yelled?
How do you cripple Jason?
I mean, I hear you, man.
That'd be an interesting challenge.
He can't do it.
Sad thing is, I really do try to calm down, and then the fucking competitive animal comes out.
Yeah. Okay. That's I like that. That could be fun. Got this from Al Green in the Pizzle.
Al Green, the singer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's awesome.
He said this quote from the Dalai Lama he likes, and I think he retweets a lot of Jaybird's thought for the days.
Oh,
so
that's
he's
nice.
into that. When you talk, you are only repeating what you already know, but if you listen, you may learn something new. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Dalai Lama's got a lot of them, man.
Okay, there you go. Also, a suggestion to go on ahead and shave the head, Kev. So,
I was thinking a lot about that yesterday.
yeah,
You shaving
been on my
your
mind a good
head.
bit. Yeah. I'm still working it out, man.
The cool
Still
thing
working
is
it
you're going
out.
to save some money on haircuts because I'm not going to charge you that much.
Be so
That
nice.
much.
Yeah, that much.
There will be a small fee associated. I mean, it's service.
People who bick their heads, how long does it take?
My buddy Bigfoot
And
said,
how often do they have to do it?
I think he's got to do it every other day, but he's Italian, and the hair that he does have, it grows in pretty thick. But yeah, I think it's every other day.
Okay, every other day.
It's like it's going to be kind of like shaving your head. You'll have some stubble.
okay.
Day 3, you're going to start.
Shaving your face.
That's what I meant. Shaving your face. What did I say?
Head.
Ugh. Bird.
Let me see. From John, he said, I was wondering what Jaybird thinks about the new Square Totino's pizza. Good, bad, indifferent. He's an authority, so his opinion will carry a lot of weight, pun intended.
That is a great question, and I often have that conversation with myself, and I've come to the realization that I do not like the new squared Totinos at all.
At all.
I
Is
don't.
there an echo?
I feel like they've kind of changed their crust as well, and when I eat it, I don't know if this is Virginia in my head, but it tastes a lot more chemically.
I bet you anything, if you go back and look, maybe they've changed their formula to cut costs.
I think they did.
To make more profit and give you less amazing of a product. I mean, nobody buys Totinos thinking they're going to be gourmet. They're $10 for $10.
They are the best, I will say.
They used to be decent tasting, though.
They were.
And now, have they changed their formula?
I do love them still, but yeah, I would say they absolutely have changed a little bit. Great email.
Yeah. Some places do. I gotta tell you, the one that we always get is the Publix 4 cheese. My son Cannon, like he eats like 3 things on planet Earth, and that's one of them. And I made him a pizza last night, and he was like, "Ooh, this is delicious." He's a big fan of it. It's not bad.
Red Baron, I would say, is decent. They're deep dish circular pizzas. It's got a different taste if you're looking for something a little bit more classier.
Home Run.
Home Run's good.
I like their crust.
I had a buzz the other night, and I didn't realize that I cooked my Home Run pizza. I'm like, this cheese looks so fucking weird. I'm like, whatever. All of a sudden, my oven starts smoking, and it looked like like flames are coming. I open it up. I put it backwards. The cheese was downward, and the crust was upward, and it fucked up my pizza and my stove.
Didn't come out well, huh?
You put the pizza upside down?
I still ate it, but the whole time I'm eating it, like, you're a fucking idiot. Half the cheese melted down into the actual cooking parts. It was only half cheese on it. It was a nightmare.
Have you ever done that? I don't think I've ever
Never.
done. No.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Were you at least drunk?
I was very buzzed.
Okay.
Very buzzed. That makes a little bit more sense. One thing yesterday on our Facebook page that got a lot of attention was the video that we had of the dance team at Miami Northwestern High School.
Oh, yes. The girls wearing the outfits that kind of look like garter belts.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I guess what you might expect them to see, but then it was dressed up with like stockings and, some other stuff that it had on it, suspenders and whatnot. And then they had like a fan, like a flip fan or whatever it is, the Fold'em fan, and fanning themselves. And, there was a little bit of an uproar here and there. Some people were commenting on it. The principal at Miami Northwestern had to release a statement about it. He said, while all the parents of the dancers who participated in the event approved of the attire, we understand the concerns that have been raised and sincerely apologize for any offense this may have caused. Looking ahead, we will implement a more comprehensive and stringent uniform approval process to ensure an appropriate representation of our school, is what his comments were. So heard a lot about it, but there were a lot of people who were in favor of it. And on our Facebook page, a lot of people were commenting on just like, these girls are in high school. It's a football game and all this kind of stuff. Was this really the best move to make? One person had talked on the page about look, kind of like the long things. It just feels like they're sexualizing these girls.
It did look a little sexy.
But then I saw a comment saying, well, maybe you guys should ask yourselves, are you not comfortable with females expressing their sexuality? Well,
No, I'm not comfortable with a teenage girl wearing a garter belt and looking that sexy. Sorry. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah, somebody said, I think the topic should be why girls who have chosen to empower themselves by embracing their sexuality makes you uncomfortable.
They're teens.
Yeah.
They're not women. They're girls.
Yeah, and, you're talking about you're trying to suppress the sexuality of a 16, 17-year-old girl? Yeah.
Yeah, I am, actually. Because you know why? There's 30 and 40-year-old perverts that hang out in the park wanting to do weird things
it's
to
not
her.
even that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to make them look sexier? These perverts are everywhere.
Yeah, and on top of it, too, for me, there's got to be places that we agree that there's a standard of it being family-friendly. And to me, there's nothing more family friendly, or should be, than a high school football game.
But then someone would always turn it around on you and say, but you're looking for sexuality. These are just girls dancing. All they're doing is wearing...
Actually, they weren't even dancing.
I'm not looking for sexuality. They looked sexual.
Yeah.
They absolutely look sexual.
There's things that you see. There's associations. There's
I know what a
uniform
garter
burlesque.
belt
Yeah,
is
I hear
meant
you.
to do.
I'm just throwing out what the other side of the argument
Yeah,
is.
it was amazing, just some of the people that still try to argue it. And it's like, no. It's like, I feel like we're open and we give a lot in society today, but it's like, look, at some point, you got to draw the line and say, no.
Can we
Sorry.
not have our high
Just we
school
can't.
girls
No.
dressed like they're, on the pole that evening later?
And it's amazing how some people try to spin the ist
No.
onto every little thing and be like going, oh, you're being oppressive.
No.
No, we're not being oppressive. If you want to go dress like that, you can do it at home. And hey, congratulations. At the age of 18, you can go into a club and get paid for it.
Yeah.
And that's your own choice.
When you're 18, do
Right.
it, But you can't do it at a high school arena, a forum. You've got families there.
Yeah.
And most of those girls on that dance team are probably not over the age of 18.
So I'd never seen the dance. Was it overly sexually explicit?
Let me do it on you.
Or sweet?
Look, honestly, you could have made to sell it and to see it, I think that you could have made it, but it was the movements, the outfit, it was meant to titillate and sexualize. And that would be
The combo.
Yeah. It was kind of what it was. And it was high school girls. And I'm not a fan of that.
No, never going to be. You can't sell it to us because we're not buying it.
I'm not trying to sell it.
That's one
Some
of those things
people
where
are, though. They're like, well, you're being oppressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally am just going on the... Because obviously, I think we all agree, yeah, you don't want girls dressing like that, especially if they're underage.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like, look, I listen to both sides of the argument, always on everything, and it's like, okay.
Well, the other thing,
There's nothing you can say that is at this point is going to be like going, I think we ought to rethink sexualizing 16-year-old girls on a high school dance team.
Let's just let them wear pasties, Kev.
Yeah, I'm just, you
And-
just keep
and
coming
yeah-
back to me and be like, no, I'm still no.
And you can have a different opinion, and you shouldn't be crucified for it.
Yeah, and I think if I were ever setting the standards of high school football games, I would never allow it. I'd be like, no, we're not going to sexualize anything here. Can we just, for one place, have something family friendly? Take it to the club. There's places for everything. This ain't the place for that.
When you're 18, do that. But most of the people that are at that school, all your freshmen, all your sophomores, all your juniors, none of them are 18, and they're all at the games.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of stuff that's going to be happening. So I'm like, no, that's the one place where I'm like, not feeling it. Nice try. But if you want to go and leave your comments, there are people on both sides. But for the most part, people are saying, yeah, I mean, come on. What are we doing at this point? It's a little bit crazy. Let me see something else we've got on our Facebook page right now you can comment on. It's from a Reddit thread that we saw. Who has the longest lie going? And one of the better stories from the Reddit thread said, when I was 18, I told my mom I was pickpocketed in Amsterdam, but in reality, I smoked too much weed. I had a few drinks, and I left my wallet sitting on a bar.
Aw.
13 years later, she still brings up the pickpocketing weirdly often, and I see no sense in setting the record straight at this point. After a certain while, you're like, you know what? Let's just keep it out there.
Technically, I mean, someone did take your wallet. They just didn't take it out of your pocket.
We kind of had a lie going for a while. There was one time I was like about 16 years old. I had to because I was driving, and I just came out of a nap, and I'm driving to the convenience store, and as I'm parking to get something to drink, I hear something jumping around the car, and it was our family cat, and it jumps out of the car and then down the alley. And I'm like, oh fuck! I couldn't get the cat.
Another cat you've lost.
I told my mom that. She's like, we're not telling your dad what happened. We're going to say the cat got pregnant and ran away. And my dad thought that the cat just ran. He didn't think I had anything to do with it.
What's your cat kill count?
No, come on.
I mean, the cat didn't make it. He was obviously a domesticated cat. He was not going to make it on the streets.
No, that cat wanted its fucking freedom. I think that cat did make it. I think that cat made it real well.
Cat has on a kilt that's screaming at the end of the
Yeah.
street, freedom!
Yeah, that cat was...
You keep telling yourself that.
Well, what do you think happened? The cat, got a meth problem and died?
I mean, just a domesticated cat usually can't cut it on the streets.
I told mom, the cat jumped out.
There's no meow mix just waiting.
We're not telling your father.
Yeah, see, my mom was good at always busting me at everything, so it's not like I had a lot of secrets. But I remember when I was out of college, probably in my mid-20s, I was home and figured I'd finally come good on something I had done back in high school. My mom had gone to Europe for the summer because she was a French teacher, and she'd taken some students over. It was gone like the entire summer.
I mean, summer.
Oh, my God. How old were you?
I was like 17.
Oh.
No. I'm sorry. I was 15. That's right. I was 15 years old. And that was in the summer of Kev the shithead.
Were you super cozy she was gone?
Oh, yeah, because my mom was the enforcer. My dad was just chill, and everything was great. And, my mom used to always just give me the sniff test when I come around, and she'd always be like, where are you? Who you with? No, I don't like him. Don't go there. So I had to work extra hard to try to do all my deviant behavior. So she was gone. My dad was working all day long, and the house was just absolutely wide open. My dad used to ride his bike to work for health and exercise. So he left his car at home. Of course, the keys were just hanging up. I was 15, didn't have a learner's permit, nothing, but still, there was a lot of places to go, and I lived
This sounds like a Will Smith song.
Yeah, well, it was in a sense, and I lived in a small town, and everything was so spread out. It wasn't like you could just walk down the block, and, my friends were in town, and it was a far way to go anywhere and to do anything. And so I would hop in the car. Sure enough, I was a great driver. Stick shift, no problem. Pick up all my buddies, and we'd go out and just have a great old time.
This is a Will Smith song.
Were you smoking ciggies in the car?
Big time.
Weren't you afraid the ciggy smell was going to...
We had a whole thing where we took the car to the car wash. I mean, I had things where we were taking the car out on the country roads. There's a little Toyota Tercel light car, like made of tin or aluminum. I don't even know. It was just so fragile.
Aluminum.
But it was amazing. If you dented it, you just kick it and pop right out. It was so fantastic. And I mean, we would do things. I would take it out. Remember one time I was out and I pulled off into a country ditch. There used to be like these ditches off the side of like dirt gravel roads.
Sure.
I had a whole bunch of like big old linemen from the football team, and they just come out and like 5 guys would be able to pick the car up and bring it out of the ditch, all this kind of stuff. So we're driving through town one day, and this was towards the tail end of the summer. My mom had just gotten back, but we'd always already established that every day I came to pick them up. But my mom had to go judge at a county fair. So it was all good.
Judge what?
She would judge different things for arts and crafts and things like that. And so they would give away blue ribbons and,
It doesn't sound like you grew up in a small town at all.
Oh, yeah. And my mom was a couple counties over, so it was all good. So we went out. We had like our Swisher Sweet Stogies and whatnot, just having a big old party, and it was all good. So I was telling my mom this. I'm like, when you were away in Europe and then that one time that you were out, my buddies and I, we used to always take Dad's car out and we'd go driving around. She's like, oh, I know. I'm like, how'd you know? She's like, because you didn't realize it, but one time I had come back and they had ended the judging early, and I was pulling into Logan, our hometown, and I stopped at a stoplight, and I look over and see a familiar car, and it's your dad's car. And all I see is clouds of smoke inside the vehicle, and I see you guys in there like headbanging to music. And you go, and you peeled the tires out and take off running towards home. And I was so angry. I drove right to your dad's law firm. I'm like, I'm going to kill him. You'd be like, you need to stop me because I'm physically going to go home and I'm going to actually kill him. And I need you to talk me down from it. And my dad talked her into just not saying anything because I was at that he's like,
angsty age.
Yes. He's like, you know what? If he gets home and he's safe, just let this one slide because there's too much tension going on right now.
She never brought it up.
Never had brought it up. And this was 10 years later.
Do you remember that day and how your mom was acting after the fact? Was she giving you a toot or did she act like everything was normal?
Didn't remember anything. I mean, we were at the point where it was pretty cold. Like I would just walk in, I'd give her, my typical teenager asshole attitude. And then, and she would kind of go about her thing.
You go back to your room, fucking put on some Rat.
Yeah.
Man, Rat knows how I feel.
Rat. That says it all right there.
Rat.
Because I'm a wanted man.
R-A-T-T.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was mine. I tried to come clean on my big old secret, but boom, Mom already knew. So that's just kind of the way it goes. So if you got a good story, drop it on to our Facebook page. We get some good comments. We'll have it tomorrow for you on the regular show. A couple comments here. A Netflix recommendation from Eric. He said The Confession Tapes, a documentary series about false or likely false confessions given in police cases. Done super well. Only 3 episodes in, but it seems like a show you guys would like.
I watched something the other day, Kevin, made me think of you the entire time. PBS did this full-on documentary. I think it's got 14 hours. It's episodes. It's all about the Vietnam War, and it goes from the 1800s and all the way up to how all the conflict went on. It's never before seen footage. You would love it.
The 1800s and the Vietnam War?
Yes, the late 1800s, the history leading up to the Vietnam War.
Oh, okay. So it was what was going on politically
Yeah.
in Vietnam from the late 1800s until like the 1960s.
The first episode kind of goes through all of that, and then it catches up to you know more of modern times and how things were going down in the 60s. But yeah, man, I think you would really like it.
Oh, that's just my jam.
Yeah, that is your jam. It's long though. It's literally 14 episodes of an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fascinating stuff. What are you staring at, Virginia?
Did you color your beard yesterday?
Well, we're doing 19 different scenes. I've got a lot of medicine in my beard right now.
Yeah, you've got a rash under your beard.
Yeah, I know, because I had to do it because we have to shoot today.
Ooh, is that itch?
Yeah, that's why I'm scratching it.
It's red.
But I'm glad we can break it down so everyone knows I've got a fucking itchy neck beard.
It's red and inflamed, Cav.
Yeah, it's what happens when you put dye on your skin. I didn't do it. I didn't do it very. I did it really quick.
Let me see here. A couple comments. Somebody said, "Is Suits not doing traffic anymore?" Yeah, no, he is. He's on a cruise this week.
He's on vacation.
So, yeah, he's on vacation. So.
Living it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You saw that one picture of him? He looked so free and relaxed.
He looked great.
Hey, you're telling me that he's really enjoying the cruise because the last time he went on one, you know, he didn't really know the whole drinking game, and because he's done a couple bar remotes with us now, he's a little bit more comfortable around knowing what to drink, how much to drink, how to handle yourself in the bar crowd. So he's apparently laying the Mac down for the ladies.
He was excited to get on the ship and see what kind of tail there was roaming around the boat because he feels more comfortable talking to ladies now. He feels more comfortable with how much beer he can have and knows his limits.
Suits got his groove on.
Yeah.
I get the feeling, too, I don't think Suits is looking for a hookup. I think Suits is looking for someone to settle. I wouldn't say settle down, but I think he's looking for more than
just looking for something fun.
He wants a love connection.
I'm not saying he wouldn't hook up, but just talking with him, I think he's more wanting to meet somebody.
Yeah, he wants to connect with someone. Yeah. Okay, he wants a love interest.
He does.
Okay. We'll have to work on that for him. I always throw it out there. I'm like, single ladies love NASCAR. If you had those two things, if you're in your early 20s and you love NASCAR, I think you guys would connect.
That's what Kevin always says on stage at the cocktails and karaoke. Hey, ladies,
what?
If you're single and you like NASCAR, Suits is your guy. And I'm like, well, if you're single and you like to give blowjobs, Suits is your guy.
Both
Different
are
messages.
different approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one I like better.
I guess it's up to Suits. What does he like more?
It's up to the girl, really.
What if he got a girl that likes NASCAR and giving blowjobs? Then I think we all win.
Have you ever met a NASCAR girl that doesn't, though? I mean, kind of hand in hand, right?
Hand in hand, huh?
Hand in mouth.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Also, Devin sent an email and said, I want to thank you guys for turning me on to CSB, Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I recently separated from the Coast Guard after 8 years, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing and what I'm passionate about. And then I remembered back in high school, I'd been into media, TV, and video production and film. And so I have started to do classes. I'll begin there in November. Erica has been great, helped me with my GI Bill and get everything organized for me to start there. And I can't wait to start my career. And after you get going there, Devin, come do an internship with the KVJ show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, someone asked me, do you have to go to school to do an internship? And you do, I believe. Right? That's the legal.
You have to be getting credit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise it's like, because they don't pay, you know, it's illegal to make people work and not pay them. They got to be getting some.
We will say, though, we have a lot of interns that do get jobs in radio.
Yes.
Well, I'm actually very proud of that we have had so many interns get employment.
I think it's the best way to get in. You get in so that you can get that. You can also sometimes get in as a board operator without really an internship or whatever. But I think it's a little bit trickier because a lot of the times that you are in working the board, to me, the real benefit is getting access to the other employees and helping them out and being kind of like hands-on with somebody else's work and being able to learn that way. That's why I think internships are great. If this is a field you want to do it. All righty. That is going to do it for us here today. A couple of things we got going on. If you did not know, the KVJ merchandise sales are going to hurricane relief through next Thursday. So go get a KVJ Show trucker hat, shirt, whatever you got on there. Thank you to Sasser Salt. They're going to be kicking up their money. So will we if you go to kvjshow.com.
Nice.
Yes. And also coming up this weekend, we're going to be doing a Helping the Keys donation drive. Friday, that's going down noon to 2 at the Big Apple Flea Market in Delray Beach. And Saturday, noon to 2 at the mall at Wellington Green in the parking lot by the food court. I hope to be popping out there a little bit after noon. And they're going to be looking for all the standard, whatever you pretty much had. In fact, I'd say if you got a lot of stuff for our hurricane here and you didn't need it, just come by and drop it off. It's a good way to handle it. We'll pass it on to the Keys and everybody down there. So you guys enjoy your day. We will talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.